threw himself out of the tower. Cool. Hello, my lovely nerds, geeks, and fellow fairy tale lovers. Welcome back to this channel. Welcome back to this limited series about German fairy tales that I am retelling you in my very sarcastic German way, because yes, I am German and I got traumatized by the Grimm brothers fairy tales when I was young. And so I wanted to share this trauma. I wanted to share, the original ones, the ones that were published by the Grimm brothers. And yeah, so I am Jule, I'm the creator of this channel. And if you like this video, if you like me talking about that stuff, because there are like many, many more, then yeah, please like, subscribe, you know the drill, comment. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know if you like that, if you've learned something new, if you, what you generally think about the original ones. And yeah, without further ado, today's video is about Rapunzel. And I'm super excited about this one because when I read the one that is published in the Grimm Brothers original, fairy tale book, I was super surprised because there were so many things I did not expect to happen and I did not know that this would happen. From, the fact that Rapunzel apparently is a flower that you maybe can eat. I mean, I'm not so sure about that. I mean, it's a weird thing, definitely. But yeah, I didn't know that it's a flower. I also did not expect the prince to be extremely dramatic. And also in the end, there was, there were things happening that I was like, what, where is this going? What the heck? And so, yeah, I'm super excited to retell you this fairy tale today. And so, without further ado, and without me like talking all about other kind of stuff, I would say we are going to start this very weird and maybe even fucked up journey together, and I'm very excited. So yeah, let's do this. Once upon a time, there was a married couple and the wife was pregnant. And one day, she was sitting at the window and she saw these beautiful and extremely delicious Rapunzels in her neighbor's garden. And the pregnant woman was like, okay, I need this. I need these Rapunzels. I want to eat them. I only want to eat Rapunzels now because I don't want to eat anything else. So she stopped eating. She stopped drinking because she was so obsessed with getting these incredibly beautiful looking Rapunzels into her mouth that she would just starve now as a pregnant woman, which is, yeah. And of course, the husband at one point noticed that his wife is not eating anymore and is not drinking anymore. So he's like, darling, sweetness, why are you not eating? I mean, you're pregnant with our child. Maybe, you should eat something. You should drink something. And his wife was like, I can't. I can't eat anything else except the Rapunzels in the garden of our neighbor. And the husband, being a good husband, is like, well, I totally understand that. I mean, there are like certain urges, certain desires. I guess when you're pregnant, like, who am I to understand the woman's body and her hormones? But the problem is, our neighbor that has this incredibly stunning garden is actually, I think she's a really mean woman, and also she might be a witch. So I'm not sure if you get the Rapunzels, but maybe tries eating something else in the meantime. But the wife was like, no, I don't want to eat anything else. I want these Rapunzels. So the husband had no other chance. Like, he had no choice to break into the garden of the neighbor's witch and steal the Rapunzels. He did not, maybe he should have asked, but I don't know, maybe he was a bit afraid to ask the witch or the old woman. But so what he did, he broke into the garden at night and he stole Rapunzels and he brought it to his wife, and his wife was like, yum, 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 finally I can eat something. But of course they were extremely delicious. Apparently, I mean, I've never tried Rapunzels. I mean, like I said, I did not know that these are like plants or like flowers, and I also did not know And I'm not sure if you can eat that. I haven't researched that yet, so please don't try. Make us Google before. So the woman was like, no, I can't, like I need more. And so the husband had no other choice, of course, again, to break into the garden. But this time, the witch, the woman, was waiting for him and was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you stealing from my garden? And of course, the man was extremely afraid. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about my wife. She's pregnant and she wants these Rapunzels and they look so delicious. And I'm so sorry. Please don't curse me. And the woman, aka witch, I mean, I think they say that she's a witch, but at that point, so the witch was like, well, I see, your wife is pregnant. I mean, I will allow it. I will allow you guys, take whatever you want from my garden, but I want the child. And so I guess the husband had no other choice again, and also the wife had no other choice. So they would get all the Rapunzels, and as soon as the child was born, they gave it to the witch, and the witch left. The witch went away with the little child and named her Rapunzel. So she was kind of raising that child as her own, and as Rapunzel was growing up and getting, older and older and like getting, and like a, of course, very sweet, very beautiful teenage girl, the witch was like, oh shit, I don't want my child, my stolen child, to be seen by anyone else, and I don't want her to have contact with anyone else. This is my child. I own her. I want her to just be my thing. So she built her like a huge tower, and in this tower, like there was no way getting into the tower or out of the tower. Like she built that up, and like really high above, like in the top of the tower, there was a room, and in this room she put Rapunzel. And now this is the very famous part of the story. So every time when the witch wanted to see her like stolen child, she would come to the tower and she would, yell up like, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And so Rapunzel never ever had a haircut in her life, now has like super long and super thick hair. And so she would like throw down her hair, and the witch would like climb up on the hair, pulling herself up there in the tower. And then she would bring Rapunzel food. She would like stay with her, she would talk with her, but of course Rapunzel was super isolated in there, and she was a super lonely child because the only contact person she ever had was the witch, and she was trapped all day all night in this tower. I mean, there's just one room, like, what the fuck? And of course, this tower was somewhere deep, deep, deep in the forest because, it's a German fairy tale, and we love our forests. Like, forest is a German thing. So all the fucked up things, all the magical things, everything is happening in forests. And yeah, so Rapunzel was just, was a young teenage girl. She was about like 15, maybe 12, I don't know, like some definitely underaged. So she was just sitting up there in the tower one day and just like singing because, I don't know. I mean, every kind of like princess and girl in a fairy tale can sing. And so she was like singing, and of course, very conveniently at that time, as always, a prince would like be in the forest, and he would just like walk around. I don't know, maybe he was hunting or something, but he would hear her sing, and he was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful voice I've ever heard, and I need to see who sings that. I need to know if this woman or this girl is as beautiful as her voice. So he would follow this voice to the tower, and then of course he noticed, oh shit, I can't get, like, how do I get up there? Like, I mean, there's no door, there's no entrance at all. And then he suddenly heard noises, so he like hid, and he saw that the witch was coming, and then the witch of course would like yell up to the tower and be like, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And the prince watched that, and he was like, oh, okay, so this is the secret, this is how you get up there. So he waited until the witch left, And then he would go to the tower and he would like yell up and be like, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And so, of course, Rapunzel, apparently not noticing that this voice is way lower and also a male voice and not the witch's voice. So she was like, oh, yeah, here you go. So she like threw down her hair. And the prince like climbed up, and then only when he was in the tower, Rapunzel noticed like, oh shit, wait a minute, this is not the witch. Who are you? And yeah, she was also, I guess, like I said, like Rapunzel has been trapped in this tower for a very long time, so this was the first other human being she saw, and so she, of course, thought the first thing that came to her mind, was like, oh my god, he's handsome. I mean, yeah, I guess. Who knows? Maybe he was handsome. I mean, a prince is supposed to be handsome, apparently. As a girl or princess is supposed to be super beautiful, but I don't know. If you've been trapped in a tower and you have not met anyone else except this witch, and this is the first other human you see, I feel like your worldview, your perspective is very limited. So, of course, she saw him and she's like, oh my god, he's so handsome, and who is this? And he's like, oh, I'm a prince and you look very beautiful, and I think I've fallen in love with you on the first sight. Is this how you say that? Sorry. On the first sight. So I'm like, I fell in love with you. You're super beautiful. Let's get married. And the Rapunzel, of course, is like, oh yeah, really, but I can't leave this tower. It's bad. And then the prince was like, oh yeah, that's true. Like, you can't leave the tower, so we can't get married. But maybe you, I don't know, how do we get you down there? And Rapunzel is like, well, what we can do, you can always come here by night as soon as the witch is gone, and then you can bring me cloth and I can knit it together, and then we can kind of create a rope so I can climb down this tower. I mean, why not get a rope in the first place, or a ladder, or like, why not use your own hair to get down there? I mean, there may be so many different, but who knows? Of course, the prince is like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Like, you're so smart. Look at you. And so this thing like has been happening for a while now. So the witch would come at the day and like talk to Rapunzel and so ever, and in the night the prince would come and bring one piece of cloth, not more, just always one piece of cloth, and then another piece. Like, every night he would just bring one piece of cloth and she would like knit it together. But Rapunzel might not have been the brightest bulb, in the tower, generally speaking, because at one point when the witch was climbing up one day, Rapunzel made a comment about like, the prince is not as heavy as you when he climbs up this tower on my hair. And of course the witch is like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, what prince? And like, who's climbing up here? And of course Rapunzel being like, oh shit, I just told her my secret. Spilled the beans. Like, she was like, I'm so sorry, like, there's a prince and he's coming every night and I love him and we love each other and we want to get married. And the witch was felt extremely offended and extremely hurt and was like, no, this can never be because you belong to me, I own you, and how could you betray me like that? So all the emotional abuse kind of stuff. And so what she did, she cut off Rapunzel's hair, and then I don't know how she did that, but apparently she abandoned her into a very, very far away desert land. I mean, she's a witch. Maybe she opened a portal and is like, you fuck off now, and then she like threw her into the desert world. I don't know, but the thing is now Rapunzel is gone because the witch abandoned her in a deserted land somewhere far, far away. And of course, like, she cut off her hair, and then she was waiting for the prince in the tower, the witch. And of course, the prince, not knowing that any of that had happened, walked up to the tower and was like, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. And so the witch threw down the hair and was waiting for the prince to come up. And yeah, as soon as the prince entered the tower, he was like, oh shit, this is not Rapunzel, this is the witch. And the witch was like, okay, you fucker, you asshole, you whatever. So she was extremely mad. She was like raging, and she but she would not hex him, or she would not curse him, which surprised me, because I suspected she would like curse this prince. But of course the prince was like, so where's Rapunzel? What did you do with her? And the witch was like, well, I cut off her hair and I abandoned her. I left her in this deserted land. You will never find her again. And the prince was so hurt. And this was so painful, I guess. I don't know. So he turned around very dramatically, and then he threw himself out of the tower to, I don't know, because he could not, I guess, imagine living without Rapunzel. So he like jumped out of the tower, but he kind of like, he fell into a thorn bush. Like, he fell into like thorns. So he would not die because of the fall, thank God, but the thorns, they would step into his eyes, and so he was blind now. So he could not see anymore. So he was blinded by the thorns, and I'm guessing just like very bloody, like blood running from his eyes down his cheek, And so so in blind agony, he now kept walking through the country, through the lands, whining and crying for Rapunzel, until one day, through conveniently, I don't know, through magic, through fairy tale logic, he comes close to Rapunzel, and she hears him. So wherever she was in this very deserted, poor land on her own for all these years, she would hear finally the whining voice of the prince. And so she would like run to him like, oh my God, this is my prince, he found me finally. And why did she not try to come back? I just noticed. I was like, if a witch would like throw me into a deserted land and be like, okay, fuck off now, bye, I would be like, why would she not have tried to come? Okay, I guess the whole thing of princesses is, or like girls in fairy tales, like they wait for the prince, they wait to be rescued, so she would like stay there and just wait. But yeah, okay, no matter, doesn't matter. But so she finds the prince blinded still and crying and whining, and she's like, oh my God, you found me. And he's like, oh my God, Rapunzel, is this you? Is this your lovely voice? And she's like, yeah, we found each other finally. And then she was crying, and of course her tears, like, they dropped down onto his blind eyes, and magically he could see again. Because I don't know, I guess the magic of true love, whatever. Of course, like, then he was like, oh my God, I see you again, and there you are, and finally we met, so let's get back to my kingdom and get married. And she's like, yeah, we can do that, but just one moment, I just need to get our twins, and then we can go back. Because the prince and Rapunzel did not only just meet in the tower, they also did something else. And so, yeah, they had twins now. And so after that, they, of course, like, they went back to the kingdom. That did not miss his prince and all that time. But yeah, so he went back to the kingdom, and everyone was like happy, and they got married, and they had their twins, and everything was fine. Everything was good. Like, no, happy end. Yay! Well, this was Rapunzel. And it's not, gotta say, it's not one of my favorite ones, the original ones. It's like, I feel like Rapunzel it's kind of sweet, it's kind of nice, and it's, very, very dramatic, of course. But I feel like for me this is one of the weaker ones, not the ones I yeah, would definitely go back to. I mean, Red Riding Hood is one of my favorites, definitely. And I also loved Sleeping Beauty. Rapunzel is, it's okay, it's sweet. But what I do love is the Disney version of it. This is one of my most favorite Disney animated movies because, I mean, Tangled is so much fun, right? I mean, it's so adventurous, it's so cute, it's like the really, it's great music, it's great comedy, and Flynn Rider. Whew, what a what a great animated character. So handsome, so sweet, so funny. And yeah, so Flynn Rider definitely, and also love the dynamic between the horse Maximus and him. It's just like, oh, they're such a comedic duo. I'm just like, perfection. And yeah, so for me, generally, the Grimm version of Rapunzel is not, yeah, like I said, I feel like it's not the most memorable words. Need another coffee soon, but yeah, let me think. Let me think. Sorry, I definitely need a coffee. Let me know what you think. This is what I wanted to say. I want to know what you think about Rapunzel. Do you like that version? Do you think it was also weak? Did you think it was weird? Did you think it was a bit too dramatic? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Also, you know, like I said, if you like that, you can like give me a thumbs up or a subscribe or whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely very excited for the next one, for episode 4, because this is going to be, I think, the most German fairy tale. The one that I've, yeah, I think I've known best when I was growing up, because we also have a kids song for that fairy tale. And this is so, I feel like this is the next one is so ingrained in German culture, especially where I was growing up. So I'm super excited. I might also be singing the kids song to you. Not sure yet about that, but because I love that song. I also loved that when I was a kid, so it might be that I'm going to sing it to you. So yeah, until then, have a lovely day, and thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for being part of this little experiment journey, you know, that I'm doing here right now. And yeah, see you on the next Fairy Tale Friday. Bye.